In this episode, we take care of some runs and continue assembly. Okay, so next up, let's take care of these runs. Okay, so hopefully this is showing up on the camera, but we've got kind of some runs running down this seam here. Also kind of it spreads out a little bit towards the top, and there's a little bit right here as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a marker and I will kind of identify where these are a little bit, mostly for the camera's sake. And then what we're going to do is start off with a razor blade just to cut these down, the majority of it, and then we will move to some sandpaper to wet sand it, and eventually we'll end up polishing it. So let's get started. Okay, so I've identified kind of where the major run is. I've got a bit of a sag right there, and the major run's right here with the drips at the very bottom. So I'm going to start off with the razor blade. I've just kind of taped up the corners a bit to help prevent it from digging in. And this is I'm just going to lay it flat, and then we're just going to kind of cut off that major, the thickest part of the runs here, without trying to dig in too much. I think that's probably all I'm gonna get with this. I don't want to gouge in too deep, so the rest I'm probably gonna do with sandpaper. Okay, so now what I've got is just a flat piece of plastic that I can run along here, because I really just want to take off this high spots here where I put the marker. So I'm gonna use this, keep it flat so it doesn't form to the shape of the body panel here. And then I'm going to start with 800 wet dry sandpaper with some water, and we'll go from there. If I have to, I may go a little bit coarser depending how slow this is, but I'd like to be able to move up from 800 to 1000 and then 1500 and then to eventually polish. So let's see how this works. Okay, so I've got the majority of the runs out with the 800. I'm going to go to 1000 now, try and get those 800 scratches out, and then I'll move to 1500 and possibly 2000, just kind of in this area. So that was 1000. Now I'm going to switch to 1200, then 1500, and then 2000, and then we'll hit it with the polisher. We'll do a compound and then a polish though. Okay, so I've done all the wet sanding now, and what you can see, hopefully, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it on the camera here, but where I've sanded is all dull now, and I've taken it down to 2000 grit. So the downside of this is that I'm not doing the entire Jeep because this isn't a show vehicle. So unfortunately, this area right here that I've just sanded and am now about to polish, you can see the run is gone now, but this is actually gonna have now less orange peel than the rest of the Jeep. Maybe if you can see you can see where I've stopped sanding, and you can see it just starting, the orange peel starting to show up there a bit. Anyways, this will get rid of the run so it doesn't jump out at people, and now we'll just polish it back up to a shine. I'm gonna start with a compound, and then we will move on to a polish. Okay, so I've just got a Harbor Freight polisher here. I can adjust the speed. I'm gonna start with it fairly slow here. I'm going to let's get it a little bit moist with some water. This is, normally this is a compounding pad. Normally it would be white, but I've used it on the 911, and the 911 paint, when you polish it, will come off because it's also a single stage paint. So this, I'm just going to use see what I've got here. It's Meguiar's Ultimate Compound. So I am going to just do this lightly to get rid of those 200 scratches, and then I'm going to move on to the Meguiar's Ultimate Polish, and I'll change to a polishing pad at that point. But this will give you an idea. I'm just going to go over this lightly, kind of blend these in, and we should be good to go. Okay, so that's one round of the compound with the compounding pad. That took off the majority of the scratches, and then what I did was I just took it down with the polish as well. So it's not perfect, but you can't really see the runs anymore, which was the goal of this. I'll grab the camera and ring it in, and I'll show you. But yeah, for the amount of work that it took, basically got rid of the runs, and I'm happy with that. So okay, so yeah, as you can see, the runs were right here. They're pretty much gone. The shine is back, so I am happy with that, and let's move on to the next project. Okay, moving on, we are going to start, or continue on, I guess, with the reassembly of the back end here. We've painted a few things, so we're gonna get those all installed. I'm going to start just by tapping these holes out, just clean out the threads to make it a little bit easier to get everything screwed in. So let's get started on that. Okay, so just a quick update. We realized that we had to kind of push the hardtop forward all the way to where it's actually going to sit, so we'll be able to open and close this door, especially once we get the spare tire on, if we go that far right now. We also just put the windshield frame back in because we had to put some markings on there just where we need to drill for the hardtop holes. So we got that done, and now we're going to start assembling the rear end. Okay, so we've got the rear, or I guess it's called the third tail light wiring came through the tailgate here. I've got it twisted together. I've put my shrink wrap on before soldering it. That's always a pain when you do that. Try to do it after, it doesn't work. So now I'm just gonna solder these together, then we'll shrink the shrink wrap to seal them in. And I think our tailgate is pretty close. Just a matter of putting the spare tire on. So yay, let's get started. Okay, we've got everything connected here. Let's do a quick test and see if we've got third brake light working. Brakes on. Yes, success. Okay, so we come across an issue. Once we got the weight of the tire on here, our tailgate is sitting too low. So we're gonna have to take this tire off, readjust the tailgate up a bit. So once it has the weight of the tire on here, it's still gonna close properly. We can't do it with the tire on because we don't have proper access to these hinges. So that's what we're gonna work on now. Okay, so after a bunch of back and forth, adjustment, I think we've got this set up correctly now. Door seems to open and close without anything scratching or hitting or anything. So that is a success. We'll move on to the next thing. Okay, next up on our list is mirrors. So we are going to clean these mirrors up a bit and get them attached. Okay, so driver's door done. We struggled a bit with this one for whatever reason. I don't know. We couldn't get the vent window in. I'm not sure. The only thing we can conclude is there's a little rubber stopper in the bottom of the door that we forgot to put in on the passenger door, so we still have to go back and put that one in. And we put it in previous to trying to put the window in on this side. And yeah, we couldn't get the vent window in with that little rubber stopper in and the glass in the door, so we went back and forth a bunch of times, but finally we got it in, so whew, happy to have that done. We do have a slight issue with this door, just in that when you open it with this, and it doesn't seem to looks like I fixed it just by trying to demonstrate on video, so that's fantastic. We thought we had an issue, but looks like it has rectified itself. Anyways, let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so that's going to do it for this video. We're happy with the success that we're having, and we've just got a few more things left to do. We've got to get the fender flares on, which hopefully shouldn't be too big a deal. We've got to finish the windshield, and then I think it's just kind of reinstalling the front bumper. It needs to be bolted down, and kind of some of the accessories that were attached to it put on. So as always, stay tuned, like and subscribe. We'll see you next time on Analog Generation.